Hello dear tea friends from around the world. Welcome to a new tea class with me, Stéphane Herler. I'm the founder of the Tea Masters blog and the tea-masters.com tea boutique. And we are lots of new teas this week that we want to talk about, but because we've done lots of reviews of teas in the last weeks, I wanted this week to do a review of Nana, a book by Emile Zola, and the beverages that are drunk in the novel, in this short story. And while I'm doing this class, I want to drink Wenchen Baozong Excellence made from Qingxing Oolong, so harvested on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you when you drink this tea. And we are going to preheat our Gaiwan as usual in order to have a good brew. It's a bit hot now, the water. Let's cool it down. Okay, sorry. So this week we have just released 4 new baozongs that you can see in our selection on my tea-masters.com tea boutique. I've also released a video of a plantation of baozong in Wanshan near Pinglin. Also on YouTube, you can see it not under the category live, but under the category videos. And I've also, the last video I released was a video of the Dongding region. Actually, it was first the Dongding region and then the Wenshan Baozong. So I hope that these videos help you to get a better feel of the plantations and in what kind of surroundings they grow. Yes, please give me a thumbs up if you like my video, and also the video of these plantations made by a drone that I try to control as best as I can. I'm still very new at it, so sometimes it's the directing is not very assured, but I hope it's going to improve. It's like everything, the more you practice, the more you get a knack for it, your skills improve if you practice often and if you think of what you are doing. Also try to have a plan when you start. Remember what type of tea you are making. Like Wenshan Baozong is not rolled, so it doesn't need to be brewing for a long time. You see I was quite quick at pouring in the cups, unlike with High Mountain Oolong, where the tightly rolled shape of the leaf means we need more time to open them up. This is faster with the Baozong. Wonderful color. I hope you will see it, and especially you will smell it. All the smells of Wenshan that I like are in this cup. Again, brewed by my Longfeng Gaiwan. This time it has a little bit different meaning. The dragon and the phoenix are also the symbols for the emperor and the empress in China, and the empress of Paris in the novel Nana was Nana. She was not the wife of Napoleon III, but she was one of the most famous courtesans of her time in this book. And I want to tell you a little bit about the beverages that appear in this short story, because it's interesting to see actually not so in this novel, because Zola, I don't know if it's really by design or because it's so good, but from just looking at what beverages are consumed, you get an idea of the social background that takes place in this novel. What they're drinking has a social meaning, shows their level of culture, their education, their level of wealth. So we saw in the very first novel of his short story in his novel of his saga Les Rougon-Macquart. It took place in Provence and a very poor place, so the few beverages that were drunk then were mostly wine or coffee or water. And there were not so many mentions of beverages actually, and very few, also maybe some anise for hard liquor, but really that's already it. And as we moved into Paris, the range of drinks became much larger. Here we are in Paris. We are in so a little bit in the Nana is yes, we can say she's a prostitute of her time. She was first a comedian. She is also the daughter of this alcoholic couple from l'Assommoir, who both died due to intoxication or drinking too much, and they were her parents were alcoholics, and she is not alcoholic, but we can see that she comes from a very poor background. So the poor drinks are coffee, beer, water, grog, some absinthe, vitriol. These are the cheaper wines and cheaper beverages. But we also have 10 mentions of tea actually, 33 of coffee, and very fine wines like Meursault, Chambertin, Léoville. But there is one drink that has made it to the #1 spot for the first time in the saga by Zola, and I think it's really a good symbol of her line of work. It is champagne, really the typical party wine that is still in use today for in this milieu. We see it used when they go to visit the tracks, when there is a horse race, and that's where champagne really flows in great quantity. Everybody has a good time, and her actually a horse named after her, Nana, wins the grand prize, and her name becomes famous in whole Paris. That's really the top of her fame in the book. And it has gone through ups and downs. That's also quite interesting. And so this book, Nana, is the one, the second most mentions of beverages after l'Assommoir. L'Assommoir, her parents, her alcoholic parents, this had the most mentions of beverages, 296 in total, and 230 mentions of alcohol. So almost 300 mentions of beverages in one book. So actually, l'Assommoir, that's the name of the bar where people would get drunk. It was the main subject really was the beverage, was alcohol. So it's no wonder that it was mentioned so often. Here we get still 118 mentions of beverages, and alcohols have 69 mentions. So quite high, because all the other books we were below even below 80. Ventre de Paris, only 47. Page d'Amour, 69. L'Abbé had 38. La Curée, 30. And La Fortune, only 15. So with 118, we have a lot of mentions. The alcohols are mentioned 69 times and non-alcoholic beverages 49. So a higher proportion of alcoholic beverages, but not as high as in L'Assommoir. In L'Assommoir, we were close to 80%. Here it's closer to 55% in Nana. And yes, so the important thing is that for the first time, champagne had the most mentions, and I think it really is telling for the line of work that she's doing. This story takes place 160 years ago. We can say that some people sometimes criticize our time because of OnlyFans or a lot of prostitution that is easy, but it was just as easy maybe in those times 160 years ago in the Paris of Zola. It's much better to drink tea, because what we see in this story, which has almost a moralistic undertone, a critique, and telling you if you come too close to these girls who live in luxury and burn their wealth, they actually are not burning their wealth, they are going to burn your wealth. They feed on their lovers who provide the cash to their luxurious lifestyle with these top wines and champagnes. And it's during this book, so I took mentions of each time a beverage is mentioned by Zola, and I realized in each book Zola mentions a beverage that is a bit unusual. Like in the first book, in one of the first books that is about Provence, he says, oh, he was drinking the sun. That's not a beverage, the sun. The sun is a star. It's not a beverage. Actually, it makes you thirsty when you are under the sunshine. You are not going to drink this sun. However, he uses this this expression as maybe it was like a symbol for the whole environment, the whole oppressive heat that you can feel in this book that made this town poor, this eternal sunshine where people are laboring, hard work, and trying their best to get out of poverty and become rich, often by moving to Paris, which has a better climate. But so the sun was the theme, one of the themes in this book, and he was drinking the sun. Then I realized, in La Faute de l'Abbé Mourard, another book that came later, with a young priest who succumbs a little bit to temptation with a girl who takes care of him near a garden that they both visit. He again was drinking the sun and also drinking the garden. A garden is not a beverage. How can he drink the garden? But here again, the sun and the garden were a bit characters in this novel that explain also why this young priest got a bit crazy and hallucinated a bit with his face and did not know if he should love God or love this girl. And so here Zola maybe pointed to something important when he said, oh, he was drinking the garden. In Son Excellence Rougon, At one point, he says, oh, the main character was drinking the Seine. The Seine, the river Seine in Paris. Well, it's not a beverage. You can drink water from the Seine, maybe if it's well filtered, but to drink the whole river, actually, if you think of it in a different way, in a symbolic way, it shows that this excellence, Rougon, a politician with a lot of ambition, he became interior minister under Napoleon III, lost his position at one point and found strength to regain it. He's really one of the most ambitious politician of his time, so that he would drink the Seine shows how immense, how strong his drive is, because he wants to drink the whole river, and it's the most important river because it's the one that goes through Paris, where power is in France. So also maybe a very symbolic expression here that summarizes the whole book, to drink the Seine. In Une page d'amour, we had this widow who was taking care of a sick girl, her sick girl, and she at one point had an affair, but it was she preferred when the affair was platonic, when she was just thinking about love in her head. And at one point, Zola uses the expression drinking love. And really, indeed, Une page d'amour was a story about love. So here again, this expression was a summary of the book. And it's not... why do I speak of all these occurrences? Because we have again such an occurrence in Nana, the Count Muffat, who is her number one customer and lover. He was a tough nut to crack for her, because in the beginning he's very pious, goes to church, is married for a long time, and very serious guy. But she understood the man of her time and knew that maybe there is a possibility for him to become madly in love with her, and she achieved this. We see this shift when he visits her during a show that she does in the theater. He then goes backstage, sees a little bit all the different actresses change their clothes, wash themselves, take away the makeup, and there backstage, Zola writes, he was drinking sex. Exactly the theme of this book, which is really about prostitution and sex. So each time Zola makes a special expression, carves a special expression that is where the beverage is not a beverage, the sun, the Seine, love or sex. This is always the key theme of the book that he's writing about. So this is also something that I have to take note and continue to monitor in the next stories. Will Zola continue to place these images of strange beverages or symbolic beverages that are the summary of the theme that he's writing about? But anyway, already the analysis of all the different alcohols that are being drunk at that time is quite interesting. Here there were 10 mentions of tea, but we don't know which tea. We don't know how it was brewed. There were here we know from history that the tea that was mostly imported in Europe was black tea, yeah, fully oxidized tea, Hongcha, now in China, in Chinese, so red tea. But Zola does not give so much detail about the tea, much less detail than about the wines, because sometimes we even have the brands or the region of the wines, Meursault, Chambertin, Léoville, or Champagne. There are also, in the hard liquor, we have Chartreuse or Cognac that are quite popular still. So in the wine, a lot of variety in alcohol, but in tea, of course, less knowledge because it's an imported good. So it does show a certain level. An affluence also means to be able to afford tea, but also here the tea is not always used as a beverage. Sometimes it's also used as a color, the color of a flower in particular. So it's also interesting to see that sometimes like a coffee is not always the beverage, it can also be the place where you take the coffee. And I try to be quite large to have a lot of mentions and see how the variations can also happen in these mentions. It's not always just the beverage, but here, for instance, it can also be a color. And the color of this Baozhong Excellence is very good. I hope you found this account of literature and tea and beverages interesting. Please give me a thumbs up. Check the videos of the plantations of Baozhong and Dongding this week, and of course check the latest Wenshan Baozongs that I have added to my selection. We are still missing a couple of very high altitude oolongs from the Lishan area, like Fushoshan, so expect these in the next week or two. Or three, because they come in a little bit later. And I will see you next week again. Thank you very much.